Okay, we bought a miller table. Okay, in an effort to pull more gold out of our concentrates, we decided we'd try out a miller table and see what kind of results we got. I used it in the last 24 hours. Okay, and it's about the most aggravating thing I've ever seen. It comes with a brush, the table, along with a liner on top of the table. It's got these little I guess these things here to kind of make the water come out flat, you see. Comes with this, it came with this little tub here that it says on, and the tub's got holes in the side of it where you mount the miller table, and it also adjusts the level on it. On this end, on the far end, it just hangs free. In other words, it's not attached to anything, it just sits there. And you adjust the angle and the level with these screws on the side here, you see. It also came with a little bucket to catch, like a little Tupperware bucket to catch your waste material, you know, your runoff right here. It's a little square pan. Well, let's cut to the chase here. I paid like about $150 for this thing, and I got a little spare brush here that I prefer to use. Well, after running it for several hours, I can tell you this ain't my cup of tea. Because while it does catch minute gold, you know, the minute gold time you gather, because I do so good with, I regulate my blue bowl so well that I actually, anything what the blue bowl can't catch, I just throw away instead of running through the miller table. I guess I could get a couple of kids to sit down here and get the fines they collect off the miller table, because it's not worth my time to do it. Okay, on our miller table, it on this end, it's got the little bucket for the waste material from the fines. On the other end, we got this. Let me raise this up. We got the let's raise up. See, it's got the pump with the hose to it, the two little valves, and it rests on this piece here, the piece where the water goes in. You see, it just mounts like this. Pretty simple little deal. And anyway, I'm going to give you my impression of what I see. Now, if you got the patience and you really want to catch a fine gold, I don't believe you can get any better than one of these miller tables, okay? Now, if I had to do it over again, I'd buy a Royal miller table, you know, gold processing table. Now, one of the tips I'd give you is get you a classifier. On this thing, it's best to use a 100 mesh classifier. And what I do, anything on bigger than 100 mesh, I go ahead and use over here on my, over there you see I got a blue bowl set up, okay? I use that thing. I find that if you classify it down, like on this miller table, if you classify it down, you find it's not as hard to process, and you really get your fines out, you know. But that's what I've been doing, is run it through a classifier, and you get it down to about 100 mesh, and it works real good on this table, okay? This is kind of a cheap table, but I just wanted to try it before I went and sunk a lot of money into this thing, you know. And you got to have patience. This thing, I mean, man, it'll take things down to where you can't pick it up with a pair of tweezers. You have to rake it over into the little holes here, into the little valves, you see. When you get it piled up here, you rake it over here into the little piles here. Myself, I'm not going to go that far with this miller table because I process it so fine. I'm going to tell you how it works. With my blue bowl, I classify it down to 100 mesh, okay? And what I do is I take anything above 100 mesh, I put it in the blue bowl, and I run it at a sort of a little faster speed, about normal what you'd run a blue bowl at. But then when I'm done, and I use a sucker bottle to get all my material out, I put the stuff 100 mesh and smaller back in the blue bowl, but I run it barely run it. In other words, I'm running with very little speed. And just have patience and let the water take the dirt or the fine dust off of the gold, and I guarantee you when you get done, it's a lot easier than this miller table, because you take your sucker bottle and suck it out of the blue bowl. You can take a brush and pile it up in a spot, suck it out of the blue bowl is a lot easier than doing this. And you know, when you can spend all day with this thing getting the gold out of it. The catch-22 I see a lot of the guys on the internet doing is they're not classifying their material down enough. When you classify it down to 100 mesh or smaller, you're talking about some seriously small gold. Some of it's even micron size. And I can pretty much get all of it. If I classify it down to 100 mesh in the blue bowl, I can pretty much pick it all up. But my suggestion to you is, if you got the patience, go ahead and get one. I don't have the patience, you know, and I'd rather just use my blue bowl. This thing's just, I want to keep working with this, but I don't find, this is just too much for too little. In other words, you're trying to process minute gold that you'd have to put 1,000 pieces of it together to make a little a picker of gold. You know? So it's just, to me, it's just not very economical to do it. You know, it's not a smart idea. Unless you're, you know, if you're a gold hobbyist, you know, I know a lot of you guys in California and Nevada, a lot of these hobbyists, they go out there and they'll spend all summer processing any kind of gold they can get, so that maybe by the end of the summer, after working all summer, they can get an ounce of gold, you know, if they're lucky. And it it doesn't seem to be that way with me, you know, because I process it so far down, and by my double process with the blue bowl, I come out saving a lot of time and a lot of effort. But again, if you're going to buy a Miller table for processing gold, my preference choice would be to buy a Royal Industries Miller table. It's a much more efficient Miller table, has a better surface on it, and the gold goes on in a tray at the end of the, if you're ever watching the videos, the gold goes in a little catch basin at the end of the Miller table, which I like better, you know. And again, I'm going to stick with the blue bowl. I don't like this Miller table thing, you know. Well, thanks for watching, guys. But the reason I made this video is give you a heads up of, you know, let me spend the money first. Anything topic you see me, I'm going to spend the money and try things out, you know. And I'm probably going to get a Royal table just to demonstrate to you, but this little cheapy table here works pretty darn good. I'm not going to down it. It works pretty darn good. By the way, remember, when you start this thing up, you paint you some jet dry on the surface of the green material, you know, your catch material, and let it dry up before you then add the water and add a couple of drops of jet dry on it, then run your material, you see. But always coat your surface first, you know, and then run the thing for about 10 minutes, you know, 10-15 minutes before you start using it. You get a nice even flow of water across the end by adjusting the leveling legs, you know, nice even flow. Adjust your pitch up and down so that it doesn't doesn't run the material off the table too fast, you know. But again, like I said, I'm going to stick with the blue bowl. I might get a Royal table, but I'm really I'm just hadn't got the patience for a Miller table, you know. If you're older fellas and you got that kind of patience, or you got some teenage kids around with good eyes and steady nerves, that might be the way to go. A little something for them to do, you know, but not for me, guys. I'll go with the blue bowl and my system of separating through a 100 mesh screen. Wash your bigger stuff, and then slow your water down to almost nothing, and deposit your material in wet into the bottom of your blue bowl, and you'll come out with probably just as much as you come out with this Miller table. Okay, anyway, thanks for dropping by. Remember, old Dino always spending money on garbage, you know, some wild idea. But y'all come on back and visit me, you know. I got another project happening here pretty soon, so y'all, how about subscribe to Dino's Workshop, okay, guys? Like I said, I spend the money so you don't have to. In other words, let me give a good demonstration of what something does, and there's you'll see lots of videos on the internet of the Miller table, okay? You can go watch them, because I'm not going to load this thing up with material, and I'll show you how aggravated I get with doing this, you know, because this is a tedious process. I mean, tedious, you know. So y'all have fun, and you know, hope you good luck in the gold field. Okay, till later. Bye bye.